You are now listening to the A Dose of Disruption podcast, powered by Experian. Weekly compelling conversations on making money moves and growing your network. The place where you can learn to be you and do you all at the same time. I'm your host, Shelly Bell, and now, let's see what this week's Level Up looks like. What's up, y'all? We back. You know what it is. It's the Shelly Brief. All right, so Bitcoin. No, I'm not going to break down the understanding of it in this particular segment because I don't know that I fully understand it. But what I do see happening is that it is on the rise. So it has hit a new record. It hits $1 trillion in market cap. It was trading at just under $54,000 per coin recently. And now it is up around 350% over the last 350% over the last past 6 months. Now, for those of you out there who are wondering, like, what is Bitcoin and how does it actually work? What is going on with it? Well, it is a crypto coin. And I think that it is in a sphere of finances that to most Americans feels a little bit, just like we just still trying to figure it out. Like, well, what is it exactly? How do you do it? What does that mean? And how do you use it? I think that it is worth looking into. It is worth investing in. And just like any other investment, you want to just be mindful of how you do it, how it works, how it moves, how long you stay in it. You want to treat it as such. One of the things is it's a decentralized digital currency. So it's not a single bank, not a single administrator. And it was created by, what people consider to be someone who is unknown. All right. Somewhat. But they are saying there is someone, or the person is using the name Satoshi. All right. And it's a peer-to-peer coin. Now, what's interesting is that thinking about trading capital in the way that we make something more valuable. How does something become more valuable? Well, it becomes more valuable when from person to person we say it's valuable. And I think the stock market is an example of that. Bitcoin is an example of that. How something is more valuable when person to person we say it is. That also kind of leaves so much up to us deciding that I don't think we always trust in whatever those things mean. So, listen, I would say read up, follow it. The idea of things being decentralized, I think is going to become more and more popular over time. And so if you're one of those people who like to look things up, look up Decentraland, look up decentralized coins, look up BitBasil, which is an art show of digital art. Look into digital art buying. Okay. This is me telling you to look into it. Okay. Wink, wink. Look into it. Okay. Look into digital art buying. Look into BitBasil, which is like Art Basel, but it's, Art Basel is usually in Miami every year. Big, awesome art experience. Basil. I don't know if I'm saying it right. BitBasil, I think it is a digital version of the Art Basel. So check it out. Art is an appreciating asset that everybody should think about buying into. Through Decentraland and some of this decentralized currency, you'll be able to buy houses, homes, all online. Like we're looking at like the next wave of things. Now, I don't know how long it'll take to get there because I know for the last 10 years, people have been saying that VR, AR is going to be the next wave of things. In fact, and back in 1980 something, we thought we'd be flying by the time we get to 2000s, and we're not there yet. Flying cars. Cars ain't really flying yet. So, take all of this with a grain of salt, but look into it. Figure out what's the right investment for you. Appreciating assets, not depreciating assets. That is where you should be thinking about. All right. And again, I'm not saying you should buy into any of it. I'm saying look into it. Look into your finances. Be well versed around what's available because it might be time for you to make some investments that create some returns. Leverage your credit. Figure that out. All right. All right. On this episode, speaking of leverage, we're going to talk to Alfred Duncan, who has over the course of time just built different very exciting careers, leveraging his personality, his expertise, his view of the world, even. And he is the founder CEO now of Black Men Ventures. That's right, Black Men Ventures. Similar to what we're doing at Black Girl Ventures, but they will be doing it for Black men. I'm super excited to be hearing from him today and just to have him, taking what I've built and running with it for men. So let's hear from him in a few minutes. Here we go. All right. I'm super hyped to be joined by Alfred Duncan,
Hey,
Mr. Forever Duncan himself.
hey.
Hey. Man, what's up? First of all, congratulations on launching Black Men Ventures.
Ah,
How
I'm
you feel about it?
I'm ecstatic. I'm super excited. I'm ready to get to the work. I'm ready to make an impact and affect some lives, man. Create some well, support some entrepreneurs. I can't say create because they're the ones with the magnificent ideas, but I'm ready to support them, man, and kill it.
So we always start off with this question. You could be doing anything in the world. You could be painting graphics on sippy cups. You could be creating your own sippy cup right now. You could be like a juice box connoisseur and blogging
Right.
about juice box. You can literally be anything in the world, okay?
Yeah.
Why are you deciding to be the founder CEO of Black Men Ventures?
Well, I've, kind of like yourself, I've done a lot of things before. I've been in a lot of different arenas. I've just done a lot, right? And so when I thought of this idea and also me seeing you, me witnessing you on your venture, it has something to do with my heart. This is hard work. I just I'm really compassionate about helping people, right? And I've always been that. My everything is about feelings for me. Everything is about moments. Everything is about empowerment, right? And so, like, what bigger way can you empower someone by investing in them? By creating capital or raising capital for them to create their dream, and pass their legacy on to their kids. So I mean, this right here is a major responsibility. But with that major responsibility, I think it's a beautiful thing for my soul, and so that's why I'm choosing to do this.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm so excited about it. For those who don't know, I met Alfred on doing on radio show. In fact, look at that. Now you on my radio show.
How you go?
Um,
Flip flop.
called Bubble Guts Radio. I don't even know why did y'all named it Bubble Guts.
You remember the tagline? You know what I'm saying? It was just Bubble Guts, and for real, we named it Bubble Guts because we thought the tagline was dope. The tagline was "We run shit."
Okay.
See?
You know what? That's the first time I ever seen something. The name of it be named because of the tagline. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. I've
that's
always
what's
thought
up.
that.
But okay. Well, tell us a little bit about you, though. I mean, you mentioned some of the things you've done. Um, where do you see yourself working with like community and just with like men in general, and like, what kind of things have you worked on before, or like do you hope to come out of you working with Men Ventures other than just like access to capital and like working with them as business owners? Are there any other things you want to see kind of unfold from here?
Well, I've always had a soft spot for helping men, and I think it comes from me being raised by women. Like I was raised by my mother and my sister. My father was, there, but he wasn't there, right? And so my mother and my sister created a space for me to be open and honest and being able to, express myself and feel the feelings that I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what they were, they didn't shun them or whatever. They allowed me to talk about it or whatever. So I think that I am very healthy when it comes to my emotional state, right? And so growing up, I tend to see a lot of men that haven't, I can just tell that they haven't grown up with that kind of, that kind of space. And because of that, a lot of our demons show up. A lot of things show up in our actions. And I think that the world sees it as hyper masculinity, and they look at us as being aggressive and all of that. But to be totally honest with you, it's just us acting out on things that we haven't addressed, right? So I think part of my work with Black Men Ventures is to also help with the healing of Black men. Black men, uh, we are committing suicide at an alarming rate. Like Black men in general are the highest rate of suicide. And I think it's because we hold a lot of things in. We don't feel like there's a safe space to speak on it, and then we end up imploding. So that's one of my life goals. My life dreams is to assist men in dealing with that part of themselves. And I've done some of that in the past with the organization that I started called Man Uplifting. I also wrote a book called Man Uplifting that addressed this as well. So yeah, that is definitely tied to the work that I want to do with PMV.
Oh dang! I should have take that introduction back. Like coming to the stage, the author of.
Yeah,
See, you see that voice change up. I'm working on it. I'm working
a
on
lot
it.
of people. Sometimes I forget about it. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Wonder why that is. Like, how do you feel about not it? Nothing about the book itself, but wonder why. Why don't you mention it more often?
Because to be honest with you, it wasn't a passion of mine. It wasn't something that
Mm.
I set out to do. I came home one day, and this was after the wedding. For those of you who may not know, in 2016, I proposed to my wife, my then girlfriend, and then I married her all in the same day, and it went viral. The hashtag was Forever Duncan, and so just that thing just popped on the scene. Maybe 2 weeks later, our brand manager sitting in the house. I come home from working out, and I walk in the door, and my wife just looks at me and says, "You're gonna write a book." And I say, "I'm not writing no book." She said, "Yes, you are, and it has to be 20,000 words or more." And I said, "Girl, you crazy? I'm not writing a book." She was like, "Yes, you are. And what do you want the title to be?" And so she had all of these titles, and I was like, "Well, nah. If I was to write a book, it'd be called Man Uplifting." I went and took a shower. I came back, and when I came back, they already had the cover of the book on Instagram saying that a book was coming. So I was forced to write this book, but I'm glad because it made me dive into myself. It made me unpack a lot of things that I wouldn't have unpacked unless that pressure was put on me.
Mm.
So I think that's why I don't really talk about it much, because it just wasn't something that I set out to do. But I need to, though. I'm gonna talk about it more.
Yeah. Now I have a book called "All Women Are Stupid Sometimes."
You have a book,
I do
that's it,
have a book.
and you talking about me.
You know what? Ain't nobody asked you for all that commentary. I
When did you write this book?
I wrote this book in 2005 or 2007.
This is
2007. It's called,
2007.
and it's about um the way we love determines the way we've been loved, determining how we love.
Mm,
And I was in a sort of a love triangle. So when people ask me like, how did you end up moving to this area?
yeah.
It was because my parents had moved up here while I was in college, and but I ended up in this kind of like really interesting love triangle,
Mm.
and I wrote a book about it. It's not, I have to disclaimer. Anything mirroring real life events is purely coincidental. So I I am inspired by, right?
Mm.
And I don't talk about it because I don't feel like it's my best work. I feel like I'm so much of a better writer now. So I got a book in the works though. I'm writing a book about disrupting. This is my first time ever telling anybody that. So exclusive.
But you
Yeah.
don't think, you don't think that that's important? For instance, I've seen you grow from, who you were when you started this to who you are now. the journey has been amazing to see, right? And so I think one of the things that I want to do is take people on the journey because I'm starting where you were years ago. So I want people to see the work that I put in. I want them to see the growth in me while I take on this huge task. And I think that people appreciate it more. Like a lot of people just worship the end result. But if they got a chance to see where it began, then I think that they would appreciate the journey more. So I think that you should definitely talk about your book.
Speaking of the journey, you talked about you made this plan. You proposed to your wife in one day. You
Right.
proposed to your wife and married her all in a day. Let's talk about that for a second.
Right.
So, talk about a journey. How far in advance had you planned before that day that you actually did it?
In my mind, probably 11 months, maybe a year before. That November, I was on tour, and we just learned so much about each other. We weren't having sex, because of course I'm on tour. And so in my mind, I just knew that she was the one because I could stay on the phone with her for so long and we'd talk about almost everything. And I was like, yo, this is the one. So when I came home, we committed to being celibate, and then we went to premarital class. This was before I proposed to her. So that was kind of like me proposing right there, because why you gonna go to premarital class if you don't plan on it?
Right, right.
When I decided to do it like that was probably in, I want to say, April. April was when I decided to do it like that, but I planned on marrying her probably like the November before the wedding, 11 months before.
That's beautiful. Just from an entrepreneurial standpoint, though, I want to talk about this plan and like the ability to get all these people there. Which I mean, I didn't get an invite. I never complained about it though, but I'm gonna just let
I
that
don't I
be.
don't know if that's true, Shelly. I don't know if that's
What?
true. I don't know if that's true.
That is true.
Okay, I'll look. I'll look, but I
I
don't.
want you to look, and I'm gonna
Okay.
come back next week, and I'm gonna and I'm gonna tell everybody, Bear. But see, I told y'all. No, but anyway, I think it was phenomenal, man. I think like there's a lot of transferable skills that we have throughout different things that we do,
Mhm.
and the ability to pull that together, keep it from her. And there's a whole video that you can watch on about it. Or is it foreverduncan.com?
Yeah, Forever Duncan. Or you can
Um,
just Google Forever Duncan. It'll pop up.
I mean, just Google it because it's everywhere. Because we're famous. But yeah, you can definitely check it out. Also, like you mentioned being on tour.
Yeah.
So, talk a little bit about who you are. Like you're bigger than, just launching Black Man Ventures. I mean, that's one part of your journey. You're bigger
Mhm.
than Forever Duncan got you even more big. But I mean, you was big before that. Cause I remember seeing you on MTV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when people ask you though, you know what? When people say, "Well, tell us a little bit about yourself," like where do you usually start?
I don't know. Like sometimes I start at the music. Most of the yeah, I do. I always start at the music, but like I said, it always turns into this long, drawn out thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in so many different things that it's just like I'm gonna be talking to you for a good 5 minutes if you ask me what have I done or who am I? So I try to give the short version. So with the music, I was a part of a band called Mambo Sauce. We were our original go-go band here in Washington D.C. For those who don't know what go-go is a form of music that is specific to Washington D.C. and very percussion driven. But Mambo Sauce was on a national level. Our songs was on Billboard. As Shelly mentioned, we had videos on MTV, BT, like any network that was playing videos at the time. Our song "Welcome to DC" is the unofficial song for Washington DC. So that means that every sports team in Washington DC, if you go to their arena, they're going to play our song at some point during the game. And it's just been used throughout the city. So that helped me to get a relationship with this group called Soldier, who is probably like one of the top three reggae bands in the nation. I recorded with them maybe three or more, like four of their tracks, and two of them are Grammy nominated. So I went on tour with them. I went on tour with Mambo Sauce for like a 29 city tour, and then when Mambo Sauce started fading off, I went on tour with Soldier for like three tours, and it was just amazing, man. You get to see the whole world, and I got with them when they were on big status, which means that, I hopped from Mambo Stars. We was on an RV and we ain't had no roadies. We was putting all out, we was doing our own merch and all of that type of stuff to, I'm now on the tour bus. I got a bunk and I get special treatment like everybody else in the band, man. So it was a beautiful thing. It really was. To this day, it's one of my most memorable things. Yeah.
Have you ever stage dived?
I, I've stage dive all the time. Mambo Sauce, I say this, Mambo Sauce is the most energetic show that I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen another show that was more energetic, except one. That's Toby. You know Toby in Wigway?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I went to his show, and his show was the only show that I was like, wow, this is more powerful than a Mambo Sauce show. So that means I would stage dive all the time with Mambo Sauce. But one time, and the band never lets me live this down, I stage dive. I think we were in Pennsylvania, and it was packed, but I decided to stage dive in a section that was all women. I didn't realize it was all women because it was dark. So I jumped off the stage, and yeah, they let me fall. They let me fall. They was like, ah! They just moved out the way. I hit the ground. I hopped up, Shelly, and I didn't miss a beat. I just kept rapping. On the ground.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, but do people be filling your pockets up or trying to go in your pockets or anything like that?
I'll show. So it's this video on YouTube. Bonnaroo. I don't know if you know of the Bonnaroo Festival.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like one of the nation's biggest festivals. It was over 100,000 people at this festival. I perform with Soldier, and so my thing is I always run out in the crowd and perform. So this time I run out in the crowd, and I told you it's 100,000 people. So I got security following me or whatever. I'm standing on this little rail, and I stand on the top of it, like the top turnbuckle. And so I got the security dude holding one leg. I got another security dude holding my other leg, and I'm up there just rapping. And then I just feel something in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? I look down, and a girl is actually pulling stuff out of my pocket while I'm rapping. Like, digging in my pocket, pulling stuff out. And I'm looking at her while I'm rapping, and she hands it back to me. You know what I'm saying? And then just does like a little shrug of the shoulder. But I couldn't say nothing to her,
Right, because you rapping.
Yeah. Yo, she was bold. She was real bold.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's some crazy stories.
Man, I always want to be on stage and just have people repeating my song. I don't even have no song, but that ain't the point. You know what I'm saying? It just feels. I just want to know what that feels like.
Yeah, it's a rush. It's a rush.
Yeah.
You don't want it to end.
Right. But do you carry that with you? Like, do you carry that with you? Like, if you have down moments or you need to inspire yourself, do you go, like, not necessarily look at videos of yourself because I guess that's weird, but like, maybe just like, remember those moments.
It's hard for me to look back on Mambo Sauce moments because we ended way before our time. Mambo Sauce was supposed to, make go-go a national thing. Mambo Sauce is supposed to be millionaires right now with 5 to 6 Grammys because that's just how good we were. With the Soldier thing, I can reflect on it because after a point in time, I didn't want to do it anymore. Because I'm a family man. So by mid-third tour, I was exhausted. I was tired of eating, the kind of way we were eating. I was tired of just, tour is different. You think that you go to a city and you get to enjoy it. It's totally different than, BGV, Shelly Bell type tour. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different.
I believe it's different, but man, I wasn't out here chilling at these cities. Like, we was on it. Like, we would, granted, it's not a show. Okay. Let me not even, but we would land You
Mm-hmm.
know, we don't even go to the hotel, go straight to the venue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do the event, boo boo, you know, all the things. Yeah, I'm on stage, calling response. I ain't do no crowd diving, but I don't think business people want to catch people. But one day, then we gonna
We
create
gonna
that.
work. We gonna work on that.
Come on, we gonna make it happen. I one day in my life,
Yeah.
and then I don't know how it feels for a woman now. They might be touching all your stuff.
I mean, you just got so you can stand on them too. You don't have to go by them.
Oh,
Actually walk, and they'll hold your feet up.
that's crazy.
And
And then have the pitch competition. You know, do all the things, and then go to the hotel that night, roll out in the morning. Like I mean, at one point it was we were moving so fast. I mean, even before building Black Girl Ventures, when I was doing my print shop,
mhm.
we would be ready. I would have t-shirts and t-shirts, tables, chairs, tablecloths in the trunk. We ride up to New York. You know what I'm saying? Hop out, psh, psh, boom, boom, set that joint up, vend all day long, pat that joint up, come right back home. Same thing to Philly. You know, it'd be a lot. You know what, though? If I'm honest, I like that kind of stuff. Like, I might be stressed out
No, you.
about every event.
I understand, but the operative word or the operative phrase that you're saying is "come back home." You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
What would exhaust you is if you had to do that 30 times,
yeah.
in a row. You know what I'm saying? There's no sense of home. There's no sense of foundation, and you're just moving. You don't know where your next meal is going to come from. I mean, you got money. You just don't know what you're going to eat. You don't know what kind of options there's going to be. You don't know what your next bed is going to feel like, or the service of the actual facility that you'll be sleeping at. Like, yeah, that would like, and so it'll probably be fun for the first tour, the first 30 days. But after like two or three tours, you'll be like, nah, this ain't for me. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I feel you. So bringing it back to business,
Okay.
um, throughout these like three really big moments, I guess, in your life, right? Like, three really big famous moments. What did you do throughout these moments? Because you about to be famous again, you know that, right? Like, I mean, you already famous, but like your fame's not gonna end. So as you journey into this next level of fame,
Secret. I love it.
what have you learned from these past three experiences of like, boom, thing happens, boom, it gets picked up, boom, now you out there, you're big, you're visible,
Hmm.
that you will do or not do in this next phase building Black Man Ventures?
So I think the number one thing is remain humble, and remain hungry. The humility, like a lot of what happens is, and I think that what happened with Mambo Sauce as well is when we reached a certain level, we weren't taking as much advice as we were taking in the beginning, But to be honest, that's probably the time when you should take the most advice, is when you're at a certain level. Like right now, I'm quite sure you have advisors all day long that's telling you how to move, and you're at a very high level. You're impacting a lot of people. Also, to maintain a healthy lifestyle, whether it be diet, whether it be work life balance. I think that's important too, because your insanity and your happiness, it matters in this kind of work. Like, you can't continue to pour into people if you're empty. So, in order to maintain your fullness, there are certain things that you just can't compromise. So if it's
Mm.
family, then you have to make sure that you don't compromise that, even if that means your family has to travel with you, or you have to take an extra flight to be with them or something like that. Like, it's all relative. So I mean, those are the two main points. And then I think one thing that I'm always going to do from this point on is have, as I spoke before, like deliberately have someone in my ear, deliberately
Mm.
have someone coaching me. With Mambo Sauce, I was saying that, we weren't listening when people were giving us information. But with this particular thing, I'm seeking out people that can give me information, of course. And like, I'm staying right under you. For real. You can't get away from me, Shelly. If you wanted to, it's over for you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. You can tell me to call Anna and text, but I'm gonna be calling you too. You know, like it's just gonna happen. So yeah. I'm real deliberate about all of that.
You know, I'm so glad you said that because you actually got me thinking. I mean, even where I'm at right now, I think I need to. I was literally just writing this in my journal this morning about like take care of yourself. Like, what does it mean to take? But what does it mean to take care of yourself as you grow into different places is key. Because I mean, like, what it might have meant to take care of myself when I was shooting in the gym and I was broke.
Yeah,
You know, it might look a little different because that's all I could do. I was like, ooh,
yeah,
we just about to eat these noodles. We're about to, it's like college and right now.
yeah,
And then like what it means to take care of myself. Now, sometimes you bring those habits over
yeah,
because you've gotten comfortable in those habits. And the level up is real, you
yeah.
know? Was any of it, how did it feel it moving so fast? Like, do you feel like you had time to like really grasp the fame that you were getting from the Forever Duncan movement or really grasp the fame that you were getting from Mambo Sauce?
No, no. I don't think that I even realized how much of an impact either had until a later date, and I still don't know the impact that either has. To be honest with you, because to this day I still run into people who talk about Mambo Sauce and tell me how much they meant to them. And then Forever Duncan, like me and my wife went to Jamaica maybe 3 months ago. And we're walking to the beach, and this happens often, but you don't think that when you're on vacation that it'll happen. So we're walking to the beach at our resort, and this lady just starts screaming from her balcony. You know what I'm saying? Like literally screaming, and we like, oh shit. We look up. She was like, "Forever Duncan, I can't believe y'all at here. Y'all at our resort. Oh my god!" And so those
That's
kind
what's
of moments,
up.
yeah, those kind of moments, it lets you know. But I'm also glad that I didn't recognize it because, I think that when you believe your own hype, it kind of steals some of your drive. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I want to remain like driven, and I think that if you don't have somebody on the side of you, then it's kind of easy. Like for instance, right now I feel like they're like you will hold me accountable. So if I ever got to a level where I was getting like crazy, you'll pull me aside and be like, "You lunching?" You know what I'm saying? And I can, and I have to take that from you. But let's say that you wasn't there, and I got to this level, like, you know, I don't, I don't, I don't know if someone could keep my drive. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I hope I am.
No, no, I get what you're saying. I think it's about accountability, but it's also like I think there are certain people in our lives, and sometimes they're, like your wife or, sometimes they're colleagues,
Yeah,
the people that you trust that really know you,
yeah,
that you really, or because I think we all have people that we want to hear. I don't want just yes people around me is what I
yeah,
hear you saying. Like,
right,
I don't want people to just be like, yes, oh my God, yes, okay, okay. Because then you can't grow,
right,
then you can't develop, then you can't discover anything new because everybody around you is like, yes, oh my God, I think it's so great, everything you do. And you like, come on now. That's,
yeah.
you
It got
know,
something I did wrong.
something I can improve on.
Exactly.
I also think there's a place where you do celebrate what you done right. And Black Man Ventures, Forever Duncan, Bumbo Sauce, these are all things that you did right, man. They sound like amazing. Like they're just amazing. I've watched the journey as well. And so yeah, this is just dope to see you just shining. I'm excited to have you. I couldn't have chose or I couldn't have worked with or, anybody better, on this journey with Black Man Ventures, Black Girl Ventures to change the world for real.
That really means a lot to me. When I called you and I asked you about it, and then what you said to me, it really made my heart smile. The fact that you know you've thought about this, and maybe some others have come to you or whatever, but you are entrusting me with this vision, that you had, and that I will do with it what you're doing with it with black women, black and brown women like that. I truly appreciate that. That is probably the biggest compliment that one of the biggest compliments that I've ever received.
That's what's up, man. Let's do this shit.
Yeah,
Let's change the world, yo.
I'm on it.
That's
Let's
what's
do
up.
it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Who on the team? I guess we should. It's not just you, so I guess we should at least name.
Yeah, yeah. I have, my team is so dope. I you know how I describe them is that, like, you normally don't get teams like this, right? You normally get teams where somebody is overlapping someone else, right? And so then you have to, work it out. So you say, look, you stay over here, you stay over here. But what's dope about my team is everybody is good at what they do, which means that anybody is liable to score 30 points in any given game, So I have Billy Blake, who is a long time friend of mine. He was one of my best friends. My son his last name is Blake. He's actually named after their last name because his father was like a father to me. Billy Blake is a founding member. He's basically running the operations. He's been doing operational stuff for nonprofits for like 15, 16 years. Then we have Sean Williams, who is taking care of finances. Both Billy and Sean I played ball with in college. Sean owns his own mortgage company, but he's been in the mortgage business for like another 15, 16 years. His organization is, Fortis Mortgage, which is killing the game. I have then Torrance. Torrance is a tech guru. Torrance is he's a high energy guy that, like, yo, if you give him the tools, he can build you some James Bond type stuff. Like, just the kind of energy and the kind of ideas that he has, and I'm excited about that. And then we have Jonathan, and Jonathan is the event planner, the dude that makes everything beautiful. He has this thing called the Black Alumni Ball. And it brings all of the black alumni together. Normally you'll have something like HBCU, but he didn't want to leave the PWIs out, so he just said, listen, this is a black alumni ball. It's an amazing event that he has, and he's going to do the same thing for BMV. Like, he's going to make our stuff shimmer. He's going to make our stuff glow.
I love it, man. So
Oh yeah,
look,
I
where?
also want. Hold on, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
want
my
to
bad, my bad.
My bad. Yeah, I want. So I also added a marketing guy, marketing director. His name is Rashad. He's killing. Like, everybody is so invested in it. It's just amazing. And then we just onboarded a content writer who's another guy who played ball with me in college. His name is Chris Wright, and I'm when you meet him, and I'm not exaggerating. When you meet him, when I tell you he's an angel, like, he loves.
Oh,
Nah, I swear to God,
is he
if anybody
single?
ever talked about
No,
Chris,
you're not single.
man,
Okay.
Chris is like that. Like, he loves hip hop so much, but he can't cuss, so he beeps out every cuss word when he's rapping. That's Chris
Why
Lash.
he can't cuss?
Because he's that's his religion.
That's
He's
how he
really
is.
into God and into Christianity, and he's just wholesome. I mean,
Is
wholesome.
he single?
No, he's married, and
Ah, dang. You
he
know
has
what?
5 kids. Now, you trust me. You and Chris couldn't. You
For
got
everybody out there, I'm always on the like, wait a minute, okay? Is
nah.
it, this is might be, is he single? Who is he? What he do? But, no, I'm joking.
I
All
know.
right, cool. That's what's up, man. Yeah, that's what's up. And what can we do? How can everybody out there make sure they support? Make sure they find out more,
Yeah,
apply, donate, all those things.
that's dope. So we have a pitch competition coming up on April the 16th. We are now accepting applications, and this is for Black male founders. So if you know a Black male founder, please send them my way. Send them to blackmenventures.org. The application is open, so he can fill that out. And the qualifications is on there. You have to be like 51% owned by a black male. You have to be public facing company. You have to have be in good standing. You know, the regular stuff. And also with donations, we will have donations buttons up. But at the moment, we are currently, you know, we're okay with our first pitch event. We will be launching a very large funding campaign for our other for our
So
other
stay
yes,
tuned for that donate
yes,
button.
yes, please.
Okay. Well,
Yep,
we'll follow for now at Black Man Ventures everywhere. Twitter, I think it's BLK Man Ventures. Black
yep,
Man Ventures that
yep.
way.
And everywhere else is Black Men Ventures, Instagram, LinkedIn,
Mm,
Facebook, all of that.
okay,
You know.
that's what's up. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, man, for joining me. We could talk all night for real. You know, we should co-host one of these days. I don't know,
Let's
cause you
do
know
it.
how you like to play devil's advocate.
I
You
think
know,
I think it'll make it entertaining though. You know,
meeting
we
these
always
meeting
have
these Christians that's always advocate for the devil. I don't understand it myself, but
uh, we always
but
have interesting conversations though.
yeah, for sure. So let's make something happen. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Man, thank you. Love you, girl.
All right, love you back, man. Thanks for joining us, Disruptors, and congratulations. You have taken another step toward being friggin' amazing. Make sure you visit us at adoseofdisruption.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or via RSS feed. Rate and subscribe if you're all the way live. Rate and subscribe if you're all the way live. That's right. Tell a friend, rate and subscribe to keep us all the way live. Come back next week so we can disrupt some more shit.